All right, welcome everybody once again. YBF TV. We got episode 2 of CEO and the Champ. I am the CEO. I'm your boy S. Dot, and of course, with me I got my brother, the Champ, Jesse James Leha. Always good to see you, my brother. How you doing?
I'm doing well, man. Great to see you. Great to be back from vacation. Took too long of a vacation, but it was nice. We had a great time.
I hear that, man. I hear that. You know what? Vacation is always a good thing, and it's funny you bring that up because I was going to ask you how everything went because for everybody that doesn't know me and Champ, we're of course friends on social media. So I checked my social media one day, and I see this.
They wanted me to do a
So I know you said they wanted you to do a.
Nah, I was just messing around. I would just do that on my own. We're
I hear
pretending we're pretending there was me as photographers around, and I said let's do a runway walk.
that
Just
walk
messing
was
around, messing
that
around
walk
in
was.
Paris, messing around in Paris.
I hear that, man. I hear that. Well, it's good to have you back, man. So let's go ahead and dive into it because we didn't get a chance to talk about this. I want to say it's been about 2 weekends ago now.
Yeah.
Kevin Haney got the close decision against Vasily Lomachenko and Champ. I got to ask you how'd you feel about the fight, and also how'd you feel about the close decision?
Well, to be honest with you, I was in Paris when it happened, the fight, and or I was in flight, whatever. I was in Paris, so I didn't see the full fight, but I've seen so many highlights of different both guys doing well and all that. But I asked my sons what they thought of the fight, and everyone. I actually one of my oldest son James, who's a pure boxer, said he thought uh, one of my boys thought Loma should have won, and the other one said David won. So it was kind of right in between. So I was like, wow, I haven't seen the fight myself yet, um, but from what everyone I've heard, everyone I've talked to, they're all saying Loma. Everyone's saying Loma, and it depends on what type of fight. Maybe it just depends on what type of fighter you like. You like the strict boxer like Leonidas, that guy who's gonna pick you apart from the outside and expose you, or not expose you, but just pick you apart and win the fight from the outside? Or do you like the slugger? Everybody likes the slugger, right? Everybody wants to come in and hit hard and all that. But remember, it's not about. I always say this: it's not about hitting hard. It's still a sport. You're still hitting and picking them apart and doing what you want to do in the fight. Um, so I could give Haney the fight too if he was doing that. I haven't seen it, but if he was doing that, but if Loma was coming in and throwing a lot of punches and not really landing a lot of punches, the guy, maybe he didn't win the fight. But if he's in there landing the hard punches and makes it look like if he's the one that is in control, and then he wins the fight. Damn, I need to get that book. One second.
Yeah,
One
go
second.
ahead, go ahead.
One second.
It's live, y'all. You know what I'm saying? That's how we do it. Mm-hmm. It was a tough fight, though. It was definitely a close fight. So, yeah, he's definitely right about that, y'all. Mm-hmm.
One second, Sean.
All right, you good, brother? That's some rich people stuff right there, y'all. Don't let him tell y'all nothing different. I ain't got nothing like that in my crib. See?
All right, Sean, I'm good now, brother.
All right, sounds good, my man.
Got him out of my hair. Okay.
All right, no worries, cause hey, you gave me the heads up, right? You know, right in the beginning. So
Yeah.
we're
Hey,
good.
so like what we're talking about on the Haney, it all depends on what fight you're seeing. There's, fighting is the art, right? The art is in the behind is in the eye of the beholder. Whatever you like to see, whatever you think is doing well, I like to see a boxer. Some guys like to see sluggers. So it all depends on what you think, and you're gonna have, you have 10 different guys in a room, and you're gonna have 10 different opinions on who they think won the fight.
That's true. That's true. Because I mean, I think you can really name a couple things that each fighter did well.
Uh-huh.
And the judges may have looked at it and say, okay, I'm gonna give them the fight based on this. Because if you look at the body punching, that was Devin Haney. If you look at maybe the more effective punching, like when you look and you see whose head is jarring back more, Loma was on, he was on the good side of that. So
and those are the highlights that I saw. I saw Loma hitting him well and hard. I didn't see the highlights of Haney, I see some highlights of Haney boxing and hitting them too, but it must have been a great fight though. I say run it again. I
Yeah.
think, yeah, I would. That's like a Sugar Ray Leonard and Duran type fight,
Mhm.
um, and or Hagler Leonard. With one of those, do it again, run it again. I don't think anybody would be opposed to that.
Yeah, yeah, and that's that's one option I think fans kind of want for Devin Haney because I
Mhm.
mean he has a list of options, which actually brings me to my next question to you, champ, and you kind of answered it. I
Yeah.
wanted to kind of know, like, outside of the rematch, maybe is there another fighter or is there another option you want to see for Devin Haney?
The option is what?
For Devin Haney, so he has
Oh,
he could go to 140 if he wanted to. He could stay at 135 if he wanted to as well. So, do you think he
can
should?
he still make 35? Haney still make 35?
Well, that's part of the thing too. He's been vocal that weight has been hard for him to make.
Yeah,
So it wouldn't surprise me if his next fight is at 140, to be honest
yeah,
with
yeah. I would think so too. Um, that's a big 135 too, man. These guys are big. I would think 140 would be um, the best route for him. And then who's the big guy 140 now? Shakur.
you. Well, Shakur's at 135.
Okay,
So,
so that's not gonna. So that fight's not gonna happen.
right.
I don't think Shakur's gonna go to 140 anytime soon.
Yep, I'm with you. I'm with you
Yeah,
because he just got to 135 because he was at
yeah.
one. He just got to
That's right.
135.
That's
So
right. That's right. And him being younger, he doesn't have. I don't think he has. I can't say he doesn't, but he doesn't have that manpower yet. When you're 26, 27, 28 years old.
mhm.
Um, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they do make that fight happen. It's a lot of money.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
A lot of
Now,
money.
one situation that I did read about is that Devin Haney approached Eddie Hearn about a possible fight with Regis Prograis at 140.
Mm. That's, wow, that's a
That
great
would
fight.
that would be an interesting one too, man.
Hey man, I'm all for those good fights, right? You know, I'm just good. We just need to have these good fights again, like Haney and Loma. We need to have those type of fights and has people talking about who's next, what's going to happen. Let's do this route. Let's go this route. We just want good fights, man. We need this. We need to keep up with UFC type fights that they're putting on fights every single night, every single weekend. They have a great fight. Of course, they're running. They monopolize the sport. Boxing is not like that, but we still want to see good fights.
I'm with you. I'm with you on that. And speaking of good fights, we just talked about Devin Haney. I think Loma still people still want to see him, because
Mhm.
it's not a situation where he, lost horribly. You have a good
Yeah,
number of people feel like
yeah,
he won the fight. So there's
yeah.
still a market for him. What would you like to see from Lomachenko? Maybe him with Shakur, since they're both at 135. What do you think would be a good option for Lomachenko at this point?
You know, Loma's the older guy who's going to be able to challenge everybody, or everybody's going to want to challenge him now because he has a couple of losses on his record now. So people are going to want to challenge him to set themselves up that way. Like, I'm going to beat the older guy. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
every old fighter goes through it. They all want to fight the old fighter to get their name established and to put a feather in their cap. And I think Loma may be that guy soon. He may be that guy soon, but I wouldn't mess around with him too much. He still has that speed. He still has that power. He's still a great fighter. Um, but they're gonna start looking at him as the guy who's slowing down, and they're gonna want to come after him. Shakur may do it because he's a young guy and wants to get a feather in his cap too, and may challenge Loma. But that's a tough fight too for everybody. Loma's just a tough fighter for anyone.
Yeah, I'm with you on that too, man. Loma
Yeah,
is one of those guys that I believe he's always going to be dangerous because of his IQ.
yeah. He's like Pacquiao. Like Pacquiao is always dangerous. He's a Pacquiao now, and they're about the same height too.
Yep.
We're all about the same height.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're right within that
five five, five
five
six.
five to
Yeah,
5'9" range.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
I know you were just talking about a little bit ago about those good fights, and I am 100% agreeing with you, man. Those fights, those are everything, and we're gonna touch on two fights that we got coming up here soon. So not this weekend, but the next weekend.
Yeah.
We have Josh Taylor and we have Teofimo Lopez at 140 pounds on ESPN.
That's next week. Is that next week?
It's going to be the 10th. Yes, sir. Not this weekend, but next weekend.
Okay.
So
okay.
We're coming up on it. So I got to ask you, champ, early predictions. How do we like that fight?
You know what? I like Teofimo Lopez's. I like his style. I think he has one speed only. That's and I actually messaged him a long time ago, and I said, "This guy's a great fighter, champion. All respect to him." I said, if I was training you, I would like change your speeds. You only have one speed, and guys get that rhythm and that timing of that speed. I said, change it up a little bit. Walk the guys down, back up a little bit. Go. He always wants to go forward. Always wants to be aggressive, and you get to pick those guys apart. Not pick them apart, but you get to study those type of fighters because they always do the same thing over and over and over.
Mm-hmm.
It's like like in basketball. You want to slow a team down. What do? You slow the game down. You want to speed them up. You play a fast game. And boxing, a guy that's real fast like Teofimo, he wants to go fast all the time. So slow the game down, make him miss, box a little bit, move a little bit. It gets him out of his rhythm because he wants to be at a fast pace. And vice versa. If the guy likes to go slow, what do? You make him fight fast. That was my strategy with Bojado. We pushed him hard at the beginning because we know he doesn't like going fast at the beginning. And we pushed him hard the first 4 rounds. He dropped me the second, but the first 4 rounds we were going fast, and I was just going after him, making him work harder than what he wanted to work. And after that, I picked him apart after the 5th round, and it works. You make guys fight the way they're not used to fighting, and then you have chances that way.
Yeah, and I think you hear all the time, like if you're fighting a boxer, you want to try to make him fight, and if you're in the ring with a fighter, you try to make him box. You try to try to keep him on edge, and I think this fight's important too, champ, because we were just talking about Devin Haney a little bit ago.
Yeah,
and these two guys are at 140. These guys,
Josh is he's a big dude too, right? Josh is a big guy.
Josh is a big guy, and there was some talk about him possibly going to 147. There was talk for a good little while because after Josh Taylor beat Ramirez, and I want to say he unified all the belts, there was some talk for a little while about him going up to 147 and maybe fighting a Terrence Crawford or something like that.
Oh, wow, that'd be a good fight too. Man, there's so many. I'm just happy that there's fights happening. I'm just so happy that there's finding some good fights happening where people can enjoy the sport again. Not too far in between, we're having fights every weekend now with good fighters fighting each other.
Yeah. And you know what? We're getting back to the days when you were fighting, where it was about the best fighting the best. And me and you, we've had plenty of conversations about this, and you know how I feel about it. I truly believe that if a fighter is fighting the best, the fans are going to back you up. You may lose, but they're going to say, okay, he lost, but look who he lost to. He lost to somebody that we look at as maybe one of the best now, or maybe somebody that's topping the whole weight class. So
in boxing in the old days, like not the old days, but when I was fighting, even then, you really, it kind of hurt your career to have 1 or 2 or 3 losses, and then you couldn't get those big world title fights. But nowadays, it's a little bit more acceptable. If you're fighting good fighters and you lose, you're gonna fight again. People are gonna back you up. It's not they don't shun you away now because you have 3 or 4 losses. They stand behind you as long as you're a good fighter. You give it all you got, and you're putting up a good fight. People are always gonna back you up. They're not gonna, the fans aren't gonna leave you.
That's 100% on that. All right, man. We got one more fight, and I think you know which one we're going to talk about. This one they've been talking about for as far as wanting to make happen. When I say a year, 2 years, and it's finally official. It's finally official. July 29th from Las Vegas, we're going to see Errol Spence Jr. and Terrence Crawford fight 147 pounds for the undisputed welterweight championship of the world. I, for one, this was the fight I wanted to see. If you asked me, what was the one fight in all of boxing that you wanted to see? Personally, I don't like talking for other people. This one was mine. This one was at
Yeah.
the very
Yeah.
top of my list. Champ, you know better than anybody else. Give us a quick little analysis. How do you like this fight, man? Is it 50-50 for you?
You know what? I think it is a 50-50 type fight for me. Um, one thing about Crawford, he's unassuming. He doesn't do a lot of things great. He just does everything well. He doesn't. I mean, his knockouts. He sets up his knockouts. It's a process of breaking down guys and then knocks them out. But to me, I mean, I'm maybe I haven't seen enough of them, but they're not spectacular knockouts. You don't see all this, whatever. But he gets his job done every single time.
Mm-hmm.
And he does it well. He's a perfectionist. I mean, he just looks so good. Makes it look, maybe what happens is he makes it look so easy. It's not impressive, right? Maybe, but Spence. He's a kind of the same way too.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't do everything extraordinary, but he does everything great, and makes it look easy at times.
Mm-hmm.
They break their. Wow, what a fight, man! What a fight! I can't even, like you said, 50-50 fight. I like Spence because I know him, but other than that, it's a tough fight for both, man. Great fight for the fans though, but it's a tough fight for both.
The fans win, man, because like
what type of money are they looking at making?
I haven't seen the numbers yet.
I haven't seen that either. It's got to be a lot of money.
But
like we said earlier, Sugar Ray Leonard, Thomas Hearns type fight. That type of hype and that type of exposure and everything else. Mm-hmm. Wow, good fight.
I will say this. They had the pre-sale today, and I tried to go on just a little bit ago just to see. They had me waiting in line, and when I got to the end of the line, they said there were no more pre-sale tickets available.
Wow.
And they said the cheapest one was $750. That's just regular price that somebody bought. Now, that's not including if somebody wants to resell that ticket because, there's going to be people that buy tickets to resell it. So that price might even go up even higher. So you might be
aren't they trying to do different things now? When he was selling tickets, because I think when we went to Canelo fight, his last fight, they didn't get us our tickets till 2 days before the fight.
Oh, wow.
They're doing that now. At least that's what they did to us, is we bought our tickets and we never got the tickets until about a day or two before the fight. That way you can't resell them.
I hope they do that.
That's what they're doing. I think that's what they're doing now. I think because we bought a bunch of tickets because we all went to the fight, but we were leaving. I said, "Have you got the tickets yet?" I told my son. He goes, "No, not yet." We're like, "Oh, we're gonna have the tickets." But when we got there, our tickets came in.
I got you.
Yeah, so I think they're doing that so people aren't. It's a good idea. People aren't reselling them.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I think either if people resell it or if they do it that way, it's going to be a tough fight. It's going to be a tough ticket to get, man. And is there anybody that you're maybe tipping the cap towards a little bit? Do you maybe think Spence will get it done or Crawford, or is it just as of right now? You don't know, man. Or are you kind of on the fence like me?
I'm on the fence, but I just like Spence, so I'm going for him. But I don't know. I like them both, but I know Spence. I've met him before. Nice guy. Dallas. He's from Dallas, so Texan guy. So I'm gonna go for the Texan.
Like the Cowboys, right? You set yourself up for that.
I said Texan.
Oh yeah. I see what you did. I see what you did there. All right. So let me ask you one last thing. That we talked about the big fights, and we even touched on a couple of them. Are there any more fights that you can maybe think of that's like, oh man, that would be a good fight to see? Maybe like Tyson Fury versus Usyk, or Anthony Joshua versus Deontay Wilder type of.
Yeah, you know what? There's a lot. I like, the heavyweight fights are always gonna be good. Deontay Wilder. I haven't seen him in a while. But he's fighting soon, right? Isn't he fighting soon, Deontay Wilder?
Well, nothing has been announced. See, I think when things like that happen, I think when somebody has a fight and then they, are training and you don't hear from them for a while, I think that there's potentially something big going on with him.
Deontay Wilder is. I like seeing him fight because and I hate to say this, but it's like a train wreck. You never know what's going to happen. He leaves himself so exposed, but he has that power to knock anybody out at any time. But he's always real close to getting hit with those big shots that would knock him out. And it's
Yes.
like you're looking at it like this. Oh, that's get knocked out. He's knocking him out. You know, it's one of those type. So I like seeing him fight. He's entertaining. Um, you know, all the three big heavyweights. You know, Wilder and uh, what's the name?
Fury and Usyk.
Yeah, and Usyk. All
Mhm.
these guys they need to fight each other. They need to keep fighting each other. It's
Yeah.
good. That's good for the sport. You know, those heavyweights fighting, it just makes something happen where it trickles down. It's a trickle down effect.
Yeah, and it's I had the same conversation with someone the other day about the Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia fight and how important that was because
Yeah,
it seems like just as you said yourself, I think it's been a trickle. I think it's been like a little trickle effect because you saw. Well, actually, no. First, I believe it was David Benavidez and Caleb Plant, if I'm not
yeah,
mistaken.
yep. That was the
And,
first.
and then it was that, and then it was the Tank fight, and then you had the Lomachenko and Devin Haney fight,
Yeah,
and then we didn't even talk about this one, champ. Before Spence Crawford, there's Naoya Inoue versus Stephen
oh,
Fulton,
wow, yeah,
and
yeah,
that's going to be a couple days before, you know,
wow,
that's
man.
so.
Hope I'm telling you, man, it's so nice to finally have this happening again. You know, um, kudos to everyone that's making this happen, to the promoters and the fighters and TV, whoever's doing it. Good to them.
I mean,
Finally. And
yes,
sometimes I don't know. It's business, and sometimes the promoters. I don't know. I can't. I don't say anything bad about anyone, but um, you got to get back to the sport. You got to get back to the fans, and you got to give them. You put these fights on. You don't. I mean, everyone makes money. Everyone makes money, and keep putting these fights on.
yeah, I agree.
Stop being greedy.
Yeah, and one thing that I do want to mention before we before we finish up here is because when you make it to an elite level, we already know you're good. We already know you're a special talent. However, at this point, when you make it to the elite level, now it becomes how good are you?
Yeah.
Now we want to see. Now you're in there, like I said before, with other elite fighters. So now it becomes we just want to see how good you are. It goes back to what I said. The fans are going to back you up if you're fighting top talent. But if you're not fighting at all, or if you're fighting people that really, we've never heard of, there's going to be that,
Yeah.
when people start talking about it, they're going to say, well, who did he fight?
And one thing we always say, I always say, what, because I used to, is I wanted, like I told you before, dare to be great. Dare to be great. Don't, I mean, everyone could beat, I mean, not everyone, but you could beat the mediocre fighters and the average fighters or just slightly above average, but dare to be great. Fight the great ones.
I absolutely agree with you on that, man. Hey, champ, I appreciate you doing this with me again, man.
Oh no,
These are
man!
always
I
fun.
want to, like I told you, man. I want to be around. I want to be around doing it forever, man. As long as we can do it, I love to do it. You know, it's fun. You know more than me on the sport, man. You keep up with everything. Sometimes my mind's going, so man, what's going on? But hey, you keep me afloat to all the guys that are fighting and the big fights that are coming. So, you're knowledgeable, and I love learning. I love learning.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. It goes back to, like I told you before, I've been watching boxing with my dad since I was 5, 6 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So for me to get on the platform and just have conversations, with you and people all around the world about something that I've been watching since I was, a child, that's,
Yeah.
It's fun to me. So that's why I tell you all the time, I enjoy these, and, I appreciate you taking time out of your day to
Well,
do
I'm
this.
sure, and I appreciate it. So I'm sure a lot of the fans out there that are listening and watching our videos appreciate you too for informing. There's nothing like information. You give great information, and of all the fights that are coming up and what people are thinking, what you're thinking, and that's being informed, and that's you're well informed. Thank you.
Hey, champ, I definitely appreciate it, man. We'll be talking. And any last shout outs, make sure y'all check out Champ's gym too before he gets shout out. Make sure
Yeah.
y'all check out.
Hey, did you see me with your boy Chris Rock?
I did. I
It
didn't
was
want to put
so.
a joke in there.
It was crazy. So we're walking, right? My buddy and I and our wives are just slightly in front of us. We're gonna walk into a restaurant and have lunch. The wives walk into the restaurant, and my buddy and I were just like 10 yards away, whatever, talking. And he goes, "Oh man, that's Lars from Metallica." The guy from Metallica is walking by, and he goes, "Holy shit!" Because that's Chris Rock with them. And I turned around, they're walking and talking. They're right by. I mean, they were like 5 feet away from us and just walked right by. And they kept walking. We didn't walk into the restaurant yet. And they stopped about 30 yards away. And I said, we should go and talk to him. He goes, you think? I said, let's go. The least I can say is get out of here, right?
Yeah.
So we walk up to him and we started talking to him for about 5 minutes, just there talking and, just took pictures and stuff. And Lars and my buddy were talking about the whatever music and stuff. And I was talking with Chris Rock and just telling him, man, just great guy. And after that, Chris Rock Productions or Promotions or whatever it was followed me on Instagram after that. I was like, it's got to be him. Maybe. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe it's not him, but whatever. But it was cool.
Yeah, that's cool. Awesome.
And not one person knew who they were. They were alone just walking down like I was. They're just walking down.
That might be why part of the reason why they're out there too, because I can imagine when they're here, when everybody knows who they are, they're not going to get, time to just go out to a restaurant and have people leave them alone. There's going to be people, all over the place. Just like I'm sure you get bothered.
Here in my outside my house. Inside my house.
I hear you, man. Well, champ, I'm forever, grateful for you doing this. I'm forever grateful for your friendship. Thank you.
Same here, man. Same here.
And we'll do this again next time.
All right, brother. Let me know anytime.
All right. I appreciate everybody tuning in. Episode 2 in the wraps. Episode 3 will be coming soon. Me and Champ will see y'all later. Peace.
Thanks. Take care, brother.
Bye-bye.